about.
Okay, so I'm writing a book that did change several times the title, but it's about time and scale. Okay, it's connected to the Inserto, the 5 volumes, but then I explore the idea of scale a little better. And to give you another idea about scale, aside from fragility, which you can model easily, you have that idea that if you live in a small village, you run into the same person 150 times a week, you see? Whereas in a city, you run into 150 people once a week, you see, which is not the same idea. And what can come from the errors we make when it comes to scale. Why things can work for a family, but not a community. Why things can work for a community, but not a family. So that's part of my next book. So there's the error of scale, and then there's error of time. The error of time, so I'm sort of exploring the topics of the Black Swan and going deeper, and that mistake we make was time. Is that the problem is that with time, we try to project the past in a certain way, but there are signals in the past. Like I give you now a signal about Asia, okay? It'd be, you know, you cannot ignore the signals. Like you have a truck facing you, moving slowly towards you, and you know, you can't say, oh, I'm fooled by randomness, it may change course. You know, you can't take that risk. So when it comes to time, there are dynamics over time that have a strong signal, and we don't quite understand. Like, for example, one error we make with time is the error of anachronism, is we flow back today's morality backwards. By saying, oh, the person had slaves. Well, we don't complain that Julius Caesar didn't have an iPhone, okay? But we complain that they had slaves. But we don't understand that morality, if you think that morality is fixed, okay, I can understand that. But if you don't understand evolution and culture, that we're improving in a moral world, we have more equality and stuff like that. So, and it's very hard to flow these values back properly. So that's part of it. Another element I explore in the new book is the fact that at no time in history, have we had more gender equality, more equality among humans, like, racial equality, at no point in history. Yet, at no point in history have we complained more about these things. So we're complaining, we complain a lot about inequality, gender inequality, racial inequality, and stuff like that, while having a lot more of it. Why? Because that's pretty much the engine that makes, the morality progress is the very engine that makes you feel that you live in unfair times. And that's at the core of the generator. So like, people saw it, like in Russia, the serfs were not complaining at all about their condition. Then your Tsar Alexander freed them. He read books, he went to Paris, read French books, came back and freed the serfs. What happened to him? He was killed. Why? Because they say, oh, it's not enough. Whereas before nobody was complaining, or few were complaining. So what happened is that engine of dissatisfaction with the system, like a treadmill, is what's moving us forward in humanistic values and fairness and equality. But all of that, I thought I had a sexy title called The Lydian Stone, or the stone from Lydia. But I won't explain why I picked that title.